was break the mold, chasing the stories yet untold. Passion ignites like a blazing fire. Knowledge takes us higher, higher. Out of the box where the wild ones play, we see the game in a whole new way. Living loud, hearts in motion. Sports with soul, pure devotion. The field's alive with endless dreams. We're more than stats, we're the in-between. A slam dunk thought, a touchdown mind. Out of the box every time. No limits, no chains, no walls to climb. We're rewriting the rules in real time. Out of the box where the wild ones play, we see the game in a whole new way. Living loud, hearts in motion. Sports with soul, pure devotion. No limits, no chains, no walls to climb. We're rewriting the rules in real time. Out of the box where the wild ones play, we see the game in a whole new way. Living loud, hearts in motion. Sports with soul, pure devotion. Every shot's a story, every cheer's a spark. Under the lights we make our mark. Beyond the scoreboard, beyond the lines. Out of the box, redefining the grind. The grind. Out of the box where the wild ones play, we see the game in a whole new way.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? It is Monday night, and it is Monday Night Football Preview. My name is Paul Spencer from Out of the Box Sports Entertainment. Tonight, we got two games, but we're going to talk about the first one. Starting at 7 p.m., it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Houston Texans tonight. Well, let's just briefly talk about the game tonight. It's a little bit early. This show will be pre-recorded. I had some prior engagements I had to do around 6 to 7 o'clock, so I figured I'd come on a little bit around 2 o'clock and talk about the game tonight. So this show will be pre-recorded tonight, so if you're trying to make a comment and I don't answer, forgive me. It's pre-recorded, okay? But if you leave your comments on the screen there once it goes live there, I will answer all your comments, or one of the hosts from Out of the Box will answer your questions or concerns or predictions. But hey, let's talk about it. Game one tonight, Monday Night Football. We got two games, like I said, but we're going to talk about the first game here. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I want to talk about Tampa Bay's Buccaneers defense versus the Houston Texans offense. Of course, at this point right now, around 1:30, 2 o'clock-ish, we're not going to have the inactives, okay? We do have a couple people that's going to be out for the Houston Texans offense. Of course, we have Christian Kirk, wide receiver. He's going to be out. Tank Dell, Braxton Berrios, a speedy wide receiver out of Miami. He's going to be out. Kate Stover's on IR, and Brevin Jordan's going to be on IR as well. So those are the ones that's definitely going to be out tonight. That's already been ruled out by the Houston Texans organization. So let's talk about the Houston Texans offense first. CJ Stroud, man, coming out of Ohio State, he was like the one that, the quarterback that made it in the NFL, let's put it that way, because we know Ohio State's not the QB factory. But CJ Stroud, had a couple great years there. Last year, a lot of injuries, to the wide receiver unit there. So I feel that CJ Stroud has to make a huge comeback tonight. He has the weapons. Of course, Joe Mixon's on the shelf as well. He's out. But here's the thing where I want to look at. CJ Stroud, okay, he has Nick Chubb in the backfield. Now, we all know Nick Chubb is like one injury away from, never coming back in the NFL. He's had numerous, knee injuries, ACLs, PCLs, MCLs, A, B, C, D, and EFGs too. So, he's one of the guys that can come back. He reminds me of like the body type of a Saquon Barkley. If anybody can come back, it's definitely him. But I like to see him, prevail. He stands for what the NFL is about heart, and that's just him as well. So I like to see him come back for that as well. But you got Nick Chubb there. Then you got Dameon Pierce sharing time as well. Odigawale, he's a solid big back as well. Woody Marks out of USC. Their running back room is kind of stacked there. with the exception of Joe Mixon being out. Wide receivers, we have Nico Collins and Christian Kirk. Like I said, is going to be out. Jaden Higgins is going to be their flyer tonight. Then also you have, Xavier Hutchinson as well as Justin Watson. Tank Dell and Barrios are going to be out tonight. Jalen Noel, he's a flyer too as well. So I'd like to see who's going to step up in the presence, of, someone like that. Christian Kirk being out there as a starter. So I want to see who's going to prevail in that offense, third wide receiver spot. Taking over Christian Kirk's spot. Will it be a Justin Watson or will they put, a Jalen Noel in the slot there as well? Kind of curious to see that. Of course, Dalton Schultz, a tight end, very, very familiar with him coming over from the Dallas Cowboys 4 years ago. Harrison Bryant is their backup. Now they have two on the IR. Cade Stover out of Ohio State, huge tight end, great asset to the team, blocker, ball carrier as well. The backfield when he comes off of like a little tight end screen. He's going to be on IR, and Brevin Jordan's going to be on IR as well. The offensive line, they do have one guy out, Jake Andrews. I just seen that come up on the waiver wire here really quick. So also we have Ernie Urcia. He's going to be playing left tackle with the backup of Cam Robinson. Lakeland Thomason and Juice Scruggs. I love that name. Juice Scruggs is the backup at left guard. With the center out, Jake Andrews, Jared Patterson will be making a start tonight. Ed Ingram on the right end, and Titus Howard and Blake Fisher will be backing up to right tight end. I love Blake Fisher. I hope he, finally gets a spot out there coming from Notre Dame. He solidified that Notre Dame offensive line a couple years ago. So I feel that, it's a solid backup there as well. The Houston Texans can score. The problem is, it all runs through the offensive line and C.J. Stroud. I feel that the running game will prevail tonight. I think they'll get a lot of yards on the ground, with Nick Chubb and also, Damian Pierce, Odigabale. I think he's a solid guy as well. I think they get a lot of yards on the ground tonight. Then it's going to open up the play action for C.J. Stroud. Now, C.J. Stroud can beat you with his legs, I don't feel that he should be running the ball as much as he does because you want to keep him in the pocket, and, make an umbrella around him so you can actually throw the ball a little bit better out there to wide receivers. Set up the run, set up the play action, get the ball downfield. Now you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Their defense is a 3-4 base defense. Now they are stacked. I love their defense. It's all led by Vita Vea. It's old school nose tackle there. I mean, what guy that is like almost 599 pounds that can run like a 4-4, from east, west, north to south, pressure the quarterback in any spot, run block as well. I love this guy. Kalia Cansey, their left defensive end. Then you got Vita Vea there and right next to him. And then you got Logan Hall and another, the outside there. I love Logan Hall as well. I think he's going to be a bookend for the future here coming up. Their linebackers, I love these names that they have. DBI, Siraki Dennis, Levante David is a beast, and Hassan Reddick coming off the edge there as well. I think this defense is really stacked for Todd Bowles' defense. Todd Bowles loves to put that pressure on. You get that blitz going. So I feel this is a great matchup for, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the running game of the Houston Texans there. I also feel that the linebackers, they can blitz and they can pass coverage. We all know what Levante David is. Hassan Reddick, played for the Eagles, the Cardinals, even going to the Jets, held out with the Jets, got traded to the Buccaneers. I feel that he knows that Todd Bowles system and he fits it very well. Now, the back end is where it gets very interesting. Jamal Dean, we know what he is. He's a great outside left corner. Also, excuse me. Oh, my gosh. And, of course, you got Antoine Winfield Jr. I mean, he is very solid. Those two corners are probably, I want to say top 3 in the NFL as a combo. Also, then you got Tyreek Smith. He was playing Jacob Parrish. Now, the thing is, when I say Jamal Dean, he can play the corner. Winfield can play the corner as well. He could come down and crease the outside, nickel back. But primarily, he's going to be a safety valve for them tonight, playing safety as well as Tyreek Smith. The other one, Zion McCollum, he should be getting a start. But, in that case, they can go 3 wide. And, with Antonio Winfield, he can play the corner spot wherever they go as well. So they do have 3 outstanding corners, plus the combo of Winfield playing safety there. Jacob Parrish could play the nickel as well. Now, the only people that's ruled out tonight for the game is one of the greatest guys that I love watching play, Benjamin Morrison. He was basically the best defensive player in college football last year coming out of there. He's out. He's questionable tonight. I'm not sure if he's going to play. Like I said, this is pre-recorded, so we'll see about that. Also, Christian Zion is going to be out. J.J. Roberts is on IR. So that's two safeties that are questionable. And Benjamin Morrison, who is a hybrid safety that can play corner as well. I'm curious to see how he's going to, if he does play tonight. Like I said, this show is being pre-recorded at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So we'll see, when the actives come out there. So I love to see Benjamin Morrison play. He's from Notre Dame. I love watching Notre Dame play. So we'll see how they pan out there. Now let's go to who has the advantage for this one here. This is to me, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers do have the advantage on defense. I mean, they're very stout. It's just what team is going to show up. Todd Bowles likes to put pressure on you. If they can create movement inside the box there, I think they take away the running game and make CJ Stroud beat you there. I feel that, CJ Stroud can get the ball out fast. He has legs to get out of the pocket to keep plays alive. But the thing is, I think these linebackers will, contain him. And like we've seen around the league right now, Jalen Hurts with the Philadelphia Eagles the first week, if, they don't contain Jalen Hurts, they win the game, But when they don't contain Jalen Hurts, the Eagles, tore him up with Jalen Hurts running. Also with Patrick Mahomes, you got to put a spy on people. Running quarterbacks, you have to have a spy in this league. Of course, the biggest one is Josh Allen, but nobody can bring Josh Allen down, and also Lamar Jackson. So I feel that, somebody's got to put a spy on him. I don't think it's going to be, I honestly, I don't think it's going to be one of the bigger backs there. It's probably going to be someone like I would probably even say, Sarochia Dennis. I think he possibly would be the spy, because you want to keep Levante David in the middle, and Hassan Reddick's better off the edge coming off, on stunts and twists. So if they're going to spy him, I do believe it's going to be Sarochia Dennis that comes out there. So I do feel that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have the advantage over in defense versus the Houston Texans offense. Now let's just go to the Houston Texans defense. Very interesting here. The defensive front seven is this really good as well. I mean, this possibly could be a strong defensive game. You have Will Anderson Jr. out of Alabama, Mario Edwards Jr., defensive tackle, Sheldon Rankins, and then you have Danielle Hunter. This front four is just amazing right here. They do run a 4-3. I love the front four for the Houston Texans. I feel that they can run stop you. It all comes down to the back end, which we'll talk about that in a second. I do think they have I'm probably going to say top three. I mean, I mentioned the Bucs probably top three as well. I feel that the Houston Texans have a strong, possibly top two in the NFL corners in the back end as well. Then you go to the linebackers, Henry Toto out of Alabama, Z Shahir, and then you also have Christian Harris. Three great linebackers there for that front seven. I think they're very strong. It's just like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense. The front seven is amazing. They can get pressure, they can run stop, and they can cover. They're ball hawks out there. Then you go to the corners here. Derek Stingley Jr., man, LSU. This kid is playing lights out right now. He's projected to be probably one of the top two corners in the NFL right now. The way he's playing, that defense is just flying on the ball. It's basically 11 hats on one ball, and when you got corners like that, it makes it so much easier for the front seven to get pressure, because they can lock down and go one-on-one on islands. And then also you have Kamir Lassiter. I think he's an awesome, young corner. He complements Stingley very well. I love the corners here. I feel that they can match up great with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense, which we'll talk about in a second. And also in the back end, you have Jalen Petrie can come down and play the nickel as well. CJ Gardner, free safety. He can lock you down anywhere. He's a hitter. He's a ball hawk. We know he played with the Eagles, in Detroit. So I feel that he's a great asset coming to this back end here. Also, you got Kalen Bullock, another hard-hitting, strong safety. This defense is just nasty. To me, it all comes down to the offense. Can the offense outscore the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense? I think they can. With the offensive side of the ball, but the thing is, with this defense, this could be a defensive game where we're not looking at maybe something possibly, an under 20 per team tonight, something like a 2017, maybe even like a 17-13 game with these types defenses that we're seeing tonight. Now, I want to move on to the, excuse me, I just got a couple inactives real quick. Danico Autry is going to be out. Keontae Hamilton, which is on IR. Kurt Hinish, the third string right tackle, he's going to be out on right side defensive tackle. Jalen Reed, strong safety's out. Jimmy Ward, free safety's out. And Aliyah Hazi is going to be out for a nickel back as well for the Texans. Some of the waivers are coming in right now as we speak. So when I mention them, like I said, this is pre-recorded, so we don't know who's inactive until, questionables. We do know that as well. Let's move on to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense. Baker Mayfield, he's playing. He deserves the contract. He got his contract a couple years ago. He deserves it. Great asset to the team as well. I feel that he is the quarterback that runs the ship. He's the one guy with the mojo. He sets the tempo of the offense here. If he comes out strong and, the team sees that momentum on his face, how he reacts to certain plays, negative plays especially, I feel that Baker Mayfield is the character of the team. He controls the team, of course. Running backs, Bucky Irvin, out of Oregon. Little high flying guy. I tell you, this guy is amazing. He is the bell cow. He's a lighter than Rashad White. And also you got Sean Tucker and Josh Williams as a backup 3 and 4. Between this combo, Bucky Irving and Rashad White, I love this Tampa Bay running back committee. It's really a 50-50 ball on each one of them. A lot of times I do, fantasy, I would take Bucky Irving, but you never know. Rashad White, Todd Bowles likes to play those 2-back committees that he runs. And I like these 2 backs right here. Of course, the wide receivers, man, we do have, Chris Godwin out. He's out. And Ted Johnson, another high flyer, is going to be stepping in tonight. Jalen McMillan is on IR. We knew he was out. So right now, basically what you're having here is Mike Evans. We all know what he is, future first-round Hall of Famer. Chris Godwin, like I said, is out. Ted Johnson most likely going to be taking his spot. Or it possibly could be Sterling Shepard. We all know him from the Giants. He could possibly be stepping in as the 3rd wide receiver. And, probably going to be the rookie of the year here. We're going Emeka Mbukike from Ohio State. This kid is just insanely good. 2 touchdowns in his first week there. Looked insanely good. I love how this kid plays. He can run every route. He has no limitations on his route tree. He catches everything. He has a speed, vertical, slants. He's not afraid to go across the middle. I love this kid. A little story about Mbukike. I was in Tuna, PA, and I went to my first Penn State Ohio State game, and I was staying at the hotel there having breakfast, and I had my eggs and a lot of hot sauce on my plate. Of course, the hotel that I was staying at was crowded with Ohio State fans and whatever, from Ohio State at Happy Valley. And I was making my eggs. I put hot sauce on there. And next thing I know, this lady comes right in front of me and hits my hand, bumps me. And I'm a Notre Dame fan. I just bought a Penn State jersey for the hell of it, just because it was a whiteout. I don't want to be the oddball, wearing gold. So the lady hits my hand and spills hot sauce all over my jersey I just bought. Wasn't pissed off about that. She turns around to pick up like a napkins, and it's on the back of her jersey. It says number 2 in Mbukike's mother. So I couldn't believe it. I went to the game, and the crazy thing is, before they left, they got my room number, and they sent me an autographed jersey of Mbukike, from Ohio State. So, shout out to his mother out there. Great family. They're very true. They're very humble, put it that way. She even offered to buy me a new jersey, and I said, no, don't worry about it, please. Just thank you very much. And the crazy thing, he scored the first touchdown against Penn State, my first whiteout game. So that's just a little story there. So, certain players hold, accountability and a little in my heart, more of his mother above, because she was a very nice woman. But then you go to, the offensive line here. I'm sorry, let's go Cade Otton first. Cade Otton is a great tight end. He's a pass catcher. He is, one of the safety valves for Baker Mayfield. Also, they got Payne Durham. I love Payne Durham as well. He's a great tight end. If they go 12 personnel, Purnham becomes more the tight end that's blocking, and Cade Otton is the more receiving tight end there. I don't think they'll have to go to a 12 personnel. They don't do it as much because Bucky Irving and Rashad White can carry the load, in a light box there as well. So I feel that, the tight ends, wide receivers are very strong for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The offensive line. Now, Tristan Wirth is out. That is a huge blow to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You're going to have Graham Barton stepping in, or he possibly could be a Charlie Heck as well on that left side, that blind side for Baker Mayfield, because Baker does like to hold the ball, and move up inside the pocket. So, with that, can Payne Durham or Charlie Heck, create a pocket for Baker Mayfield to rise in the pocket, move up in the pocket, get the ball downfield. That's going to be a huge blow to them as well. Left tackle, like I said, Tristan Wirth's going to be out. Center is going to be Ben Breedenson. He's a solid guy there. I think he can hold his own. You're not going against Vita Vea there, but that front 4 for the Houston Texans is nasty, and that's the only thing there. Graham Barton, like I said, is going to be playing center. Cody Mach, if you guys haven't seen Cody Mach play, he is from North Dakota State. This guy is, missing 2 teeth up front. I swear I don't think he plays football. I think he plays hockey. But this guy is, bring your lunch pail to to the work every day. I love how the kid plays. A little bit undersized, but this kid has the motor, the skills, and the one thing that you can't teach is heart. So I like this kid playing there. The other one is going to be Luke Godecki. Now he is questionable tonight. Now on the opposite side there, you can move Charlie Heck over there, and you have Benjamin Chumama. He can actually play there too. Luke Godecki, if he doesn't play, that's going to be a huge blow with Tristan Wirth out as well. So I feel that the offensive line could be the X factor for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers tonight, because with the offensive line backed up, Tristan Wirth, we know he is all world as well. And if Luke Godecki is out on the opposite side, you got the left tackle and the right tackle being out tonight. Godecki is questionable, so we don't know 100% if he is going to be out. But if he is out, you got your right tackle and your left tackle out, and that just creates more space for Will Anderson, and then also you have Danielle Hunter, two of the top defensive ends in the NFL right now, as a package on bookends. So pick your poison where you want to go. And that creates so much movement for the linebackers there. You think about it, you can have Mario Edwards, in the side of the middle. You can have, Toto Asir and Christian Harris come off a stunt or twist, if they don't prevail on the left side or right side, on twist and Wirth side or Ledecky's side. So that is the offensive line. That is the defensive advantages on both teams. How I feel this game will pan out, I really feel this game's going to be one in the trenches here. Both defenses are very strong. Not taken away from the offense. This could be, like I said, this could be a very defensive battle here. The line is 2.5. The Texans at home are giving 2.5 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I see why, because this line came out about 5 days ago. I haven't looked at it today yet, but I'm kind of leaning toward the Houston Texans for this game due to the fact that when you have Tristan Wirth and Ludecki out, that could be something serious when you have the front seven for the Texans that like to eat, they like to hunt, and I feel that they can. It's going to come down to that offensive line if they can get the pressure. If the defensive line can get pressure on Baker Mayfield and get through this offensive line, it could be a long night for Baker Mayfield. And then you're going to look at throwing the ball there, quick slants to Evans and Bukique outside, and Cade Cotton in the middle there. They also looking at the third wide receiver. Since you do have you do have wide receivers out. Chris Godwin's out, so Tez Johnson, he's a slot guy who likes to go, vertical there. Also, could throw Sterling Shepard a little bit more size in there, but none of those really are, pass blocking wide receivers. They don't. Tez Johnson is a slot guy. That's his true position. So I feel that he possibly could be, get downfield, but with the offensive line banged up, can Baker Mayfield have enough time against his front four for the Houston Texans? So I'm going to say this. I feel that the Texans might win this game tonight. I do feel it's going to be low scoring. So I'm probably going to look at this game, and I'm probably going to say the Houston Texans are going to win a low scoring game here. A lot of times when we say low scoring, it turns out to be a shootout. Look at the Dallas Cowboys, New York Giants. What a game yesterday. Me being a Cowboys fan, as you guys can see, I think I'm 54 now, and I think I lost maybe, like, if I'm supposed to live to 60, I'm probably only going to live to like 55 now, because that game took so many lives off my brain, my heart. Gave me, oh my God, my mom used to say the word agita. I don't know what the hell that means. Never looked it up, but my mom used to say when I acted, cut up, all the time, you're giving me agita. Well, whatever that was, it gave me agita, heartburn, blood pressure skyrocketed. So we always say, low scoring games. Look what happened yesterday, 40-37. But I think this game's going to be a low scoring game here. I'm gonna go Texans. I'm gonna go Texans here. The line is 2.5. So I'm gonna go Texans here. I'm gonna go 23-19 over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers tonight. So that is my prediction. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing the Monday Night Football second game tonight, because I do have prior engagements that I have to do. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to do that. But this show will be playing tonight at most likely going to be about 5 o'clock on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter as well. So make sure you follow that. And also at 6 o'clock tonight, we do have the Sully squad. They're fresh off of a win. The Philadelphia Eagles beating the Kansas City Chiefs, 20 by 3 points there. So I feel that, it's going to be a great show to hear what the enemies always do, me being a Cowboy fan. But make sure you check out the Sully squad tonight at 6 p.m. They'll be live giving you all the Philadelphia sports as well. And make sure you do follow all of our entertainment social media platforms out there: Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and even TikTok as well. We do have something for everybody. Tomorrow night, we do have a great show here at the NFC East War Room. That'll be on tomorrow night, Tuesday. That will be at 9:30 tomorrow night. I will be on there talking Cowboys. Joe Sullivan will be on talking Eagles. Dan Connor will be on talking Giants. And Norm will be on talking about the Commanders. I call them Redskins. I don't know if Dan's going to be happy with me, but I did a quality check and make sure he was okay today. So I didn't get an answer. If he doesn't answer next, I'm going to call 911 and see if he's alive still after that game with the Giants and the Cowboys. But also, make sure you follow us on all social medias out there. We really appreciate it. And also, if you want to start your own show, let us know. Reach out to me personally, Paul Spencer 215 at iCloud. We'll make it happen. We try to get passionate fans out there who want to become hosts. I started this about 3.5 years ago, and right now we have 1,342 shows live. Never thought we would be there. So, reach out to us if you want to start your own show. Just make sure you follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all live there. Also, one of our hosts, Ken Fry, hosts the Back Cave. Make sure you check him out every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday with the Raiders, Kings, and the Mets. But guys, if you like an energy drink with no jitters, make sure you reach out to www.w.gg discount and make sure you use the Back Cave as a promo there. You'll get at least 10% off. I'm not sure. Now, I did try this drink. It does not give you jitters. It's a great thing as well. Last but not least is our sponsor, Jason Fine, 1-800-HURT-123 for all your legal needs. Motor vehicle accident, slip and fall, workman's comp, personal injury claims. 3 can only be in locations throughout Pennsylvania and New Jersey. In New Jersey, it's Cherry Hill, 3 Greensward Lane. In Pennsylvania, it's Philadelphia, PA, 1628 JFK Boulevard, Suite 2120. And also Pittsburgh, 500 Grant Street, Suite 2900. Make sure you use those magical words, Out of the Box Sports Entertainment, and it's no recovery, no fee, and I guarantee you get the family rate from those magical words, Out of the Box Sports Entertainment, and it'll be 33 1/3% guaranteed rate. And that's highly unheard of in the law offices today. So guys, my name is Paul Spencer. I will maybe be on late tonight live talking about both games, see if we can do that. If I don't, if I get back in time and I can catch the games, because I do not like to read stats and tell you, I want to watch the game myself and go from there. So guys, my name is Paul Spencer. I appreciate you guys checking in. And once again, this show was pre-recorded. So if you leave a comment, leave a thought, leave a prediction, and I don't answer you and I don't pull your comment up on the screen, you'll know why. But leave a comment anyway. Let us know what you think, and I will answer all the replies on the show. Guys, my name is Paul Spencer from Out of the Box Sports Entertainment, and this is Monday Night Football Preview, Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Houston Texans. And I have it 23-19 Texans. Until then, have a great night, everybody.
Getting strong, let's break the mold. Chasing the stories yet untold. Passion ignites like a blazing fire. Knowledge takes us higher, higher. Out of the box where the wild ones play. We see the game in a whole new way. Living loud, hearts in motion. Sports with soul, pure devotion. The field's alive with endless dreams. We're more than stats, we're the in-between. A slam dunk thought, a touchdown mind. Out of the box every time. No limits, no change, no walls to climb. We'll be